the beginning, God made Adam and Eve. Now, Eve got tired of being naked, so she had to wear something by any means necessary. And now that is how fashion was born. Or at least that's my side of the story. Now, welcome to Fess. On today's edition, we have Marur, that's the proprietor, fashion designer of Fusion. But first, we have health and fashion.
Can contact lenses damage your eyes? Contact lenses are very safe. Still, wearing contact lenses can damage your eyes if you wear them too long, fail to clean them properly, or do not replace them as directed by your eye doctor. Because contact lenses rest directly on the eye and cover the entire cornea, or in the case of gas-permeable contact lenses, part of the cornea, they decrease the amount of oxygen that reaches your eyes from the environment. A good oxygen supply is essential to keeping your eyes healthy. You can limit the potentially harmful effects of oxygen deprivation from contact lens by doing the following. Adhere to the wearing schedule your eye doctor recommends. Discard and replace your contacts as directed. You also may want to choose modern silicone hydrogel contact lenses. These soft lenses are made of material that transmit more oxygen than conventional soft contact lens material and may be safer for your eyes in the long run. Contact lenses also increase the risk of eye damage because bacteria and other infection-causing agents can accumulate on them. This is especially true as the lenses get older and deposits accumulate on the front and back surfaces of the lenses.
Margot, welcome to my show.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure having you here today. It took forever to get you here.
No, sorry.
So the second try? Perfect.
Yeah.
Now, let's get straight to business.
Okay.
Speaking of business, you actually studied business administration.
Yes, I did.
And then you were actually a marketing manager at Insys Global.
Yes.
Must have taken a lot of courage for you to quit that job just to take on the fashion.
Yeah, it was a huge step for me. It was a huge risk as well, because fashion was just my passion in the beginning. It was just for fun. And I went to school for business, like you said, and I minored in economics. So then when I came home, I worked as the marketing manager for Insys Global, which was a huge position. And at that time, the company was, at its peak. And I was happy, but then I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. So at the end, it was choosing between do I do it for someone else or do I do it for myself? And I chose to do it for myself and to just follow my dream.
Do you have plans of going on to study fashion design?
Yes, eventually. I actually want to go and study fashion design because this is what my career is all about now. So just to strengthen my skills and just to grow, it's always better to just go and educate yourself more.
You mentioned career. First of all, you have to juggle being a mother and a fashion designer.
Definitely.
Now you're a wife. Yeah. How are you balancing that?
It's really tough. It's like I'm still getting used to it. It's still a challenge, but at the end of the day, you just have to figure out your priorities. At what time does your daughter come first, or what time does your husband come first, and what time the business comes first. So I'm still juggling, but alhamdulillah.
Okay, so it took you so long since you were a child and you wanted to do fashion design. Why did you wait until 2011 to start taking it seriously?
Well, first of all, I told my dad I wanted to study fashion, and then he said, no, over my dead body. You're not doing fashion. Just go and do, just go to college, 4-year college, go to university. So I was like, okay, and I was still thinking about fashion when I studied business. But at the school I went to, we didn't have the fashion design major. So I just decided to do business administration and economics. So I was like, I could always have something to fall back on. And since in the future I might become a businesswoman, so why not just, major in business? take a major up in business, and I did. And then 2011, when I came home, that's when I started with Insys Global. But then I just found myself, like, in my free time, when I'm not at work, when I'm at home, I'm always following fashion. It always excites me. I'm always watching, fashion shows, and I'm always dreaming about getting on that runway and showing the people what I've been working on or what I've been sketching and stuff like that. So I guess I got the courage in 2011, basically when I came home and I have the support system here, and I have the fabrics and so many other things, beautiful things at my disposal. So I'm like, why not, make use of it right then and there. I'm home, and this is my home, and I'm sure that people will support me better here than there. And it's good to start here than start over there. Good to start here than move up on and go, internationally. So I guess I got the courage in 2011. And my boss at the time, Insys Global, was very encouraging. And he actually talked me into, just following my dreams, because that's what he did as well. So I guess he was a lot of help at that time.
So I'm guessing now Dad is part of the support system.
Yes, he is. He's my #1 fan.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned internationally. Do you have, were there any international platforms that you showcased?
Yes. Went to Ghana 2 years ago for the ECOWAS Trade Fair, and we did Glitz Ghana Fashion Week. We basically showcased ourselves, exhibited, and we participated during the trade fair. But so far, and also in Europe, I do have clients there. So I'm trying to, get into the market, international market, and not just focus on.
How do you reach out to your clients abroad?
Online. I have my website, but it's still, under construction. But I have my Facebook page, I have Instagram, and then there's Viber, there's WhatsApp. Like now the technology is so, up there, so I communicate with them regularly. And to get my stuff over there, there's DHL, there's post office, so it's really simple getting my stuff out there now.
Okay, one thing that distinguishes your line from other lines is that the colors. Yeah. We know you're very much into the colors, but what do you think it was about yourself or your brand that made people receive it so well when you started off?
It was different. It wasn't, because my stuff is Afro-European. And it was, when I first started, I just wanted something that's more European, but using African fabrics. So it was the European taste, I guess, that's different from what people have done before. Because, for example, you want to go to New Year's Eve, to a New Year's Eve dinner, but you know how people dress up for New Year's Eve. But it's too expensive to order the dresses that you see on Beyonce on the red carpet or Rihanna. So my idea was just like, why don't we have it here? Like it's available here now, it's available for you. I think that's what captured people's attention, that I'm actually able to design gowns like that. I'm actually able to, make you look like you're wearing $1 million dress when you're actually not, when it's made here in Gambia, made by a Gambian.
Do you buy your materials from here?
Not all of them, but I do try to find stuff to add to the materials that I'm not getting from here. And the reason why I don't just buy all of my materials from here is because it becomes common and people have the same stuff. And Fusion, from the beginning, I wanted it to just stand out, be a brand that stood out. And if you're wearing my stuff, people would know that you're in Fusion. So I didn't think that, because everyone else buys their materials from here. So I figured to go beyond that, let's get our materials from somewhere, something that's not available here, but then still get stuff from here that we can use on that fabric. I don't know if I'm making sense.
I get you. Now, one thing I wanted to touch on, and I'm sure the audience also want to know this. Now, the reason why a lot of people are actually discouraged from going to designers is because of the price and the fact that they can just simply print off a picture from the internet and show it to a tailor and have it made by almost, let's say, next to nothing. But designers in Gambia tend to charge on the high side. If they're screaming, support Gambia, wear Gambian designs, I mean, the average Gambian does not earn a lot. So if designers are charging 50% of, someone's earnings per month, who exactly is their market?
Okay, so let me touch on that. So people always complain about that, complain about our prices. But I can speak for other designers when it's really hard being a designer. And it's not the same as being a tailor. We're designers and we put in a lot of work into what we do. A lot of it goes to our time, and when we actually sit down to sketch stuff. So when you go to a regular tailor, you don't get the same experience and you don't get the same outfit. That's what people fail to understand. You could print a dress, like a picture of a dress that Beyonce's wearing. You go to a tailor, you get your own material, take it to the tailor. The material you might get is not even the right material for that dress. But the tailor wouldn't know that. The tailor's just worried about just you coming and them getting your money, your little $200, $300 fee, to sew you an outfit. But they wouldn't advise you on, this is not the right fabric, I think you should do it this way, you should add this to it. None of that. So at the end of the day, you just ask yourself, are you happier when you go to a regular tailor or when you go to a designer? Because I know I'm speaking for myself now.
And that's a valid question.
Yeah, exactly. So what I do is I put a touch of fusion to it. And I feel like you have to sell your brand. You have to, feel like your brand is worth a certain value. And I'm sure other designers feel the same way. Let's say another designer wouldn't just sell a dress cheap because they just want to satisfy the clients. It's the quality and it's what you're paying for. You get what you're paying for. But if it's just that the designer is just overcharging and they're not giving you what you want, then yes, we are overcharging in that case. But if the case is, it's not really overcharging, it's actually what we're putting in to the outfit. Is the work that goes into making that creation, that masterpiece for you. And then when you wear it, you feel good about yourself. You go out and everybody's complimenting you. It all comes to that. So don't look at it that way that, I could go print out a picture and give it to a tailor and they can sew it for less. But then at the end of the day, are you happy, 100% happy with that outfit at the end of the day? Most of the time it's no. Because the tailors are just tailors. They just know what you tell them and what you show them. And the tailor might look at the dress or the picture and they might not even give you the exact outfit that you printed out. They might feel like this dress is supposed to be a mermaid fit when it wasn't actually a mermaid fit, it's another type of fit. And then when you get it, you're not happy with it because the tailor doesn't know any better. Like for us designers, we train our tailors. Like we sit down with the tailors and we let them sew different things and then we critique them and we tell them what we want and how we want it and how it's supposed to be. If you do it this way, this is not the right way. That time that we spend with the tailors, the time that we spend to buy the true fabrics and the fabrics that will look better for your outfit and what else that we put on it. Like for me, I'm always blinging stuff out. I'm always adding crystals to it. So for me, that's what costs. That's why my stuff costs, maybe some people might say it costs a lot and it's overpriced because it's what I put on my outfits. I'm not gonna undercharge or just try to please the Gambian because that's what they want and just undercharge my stuff, but then I know what I put into my stuff. So at the end of the day, it's just look at it that way. It's not just us overcharging, it's just what we're putting into our work and how we value our designs and what our designs are worth. Everyone is different. I might feel like my designs are worth this much. The other person might be like, nope, it's not worth that much. I wouldn't pay that much for it. That's your decision. Everybody's entitled to their decision and their opinion. But at the end of the day, it's what we put into our stuff and we know how much we spend to get you that outfit. So that's how, I don't know about others, but that's how I price my stuff. What I put into it, the crystals I'm using, everything else that I'm using is not cheap. So at the end of the day, and prices are always hiking up. But then most of the time, we can't even hike our prices up because it's already expensive.
Now let me stop you there. Let's speak about prices because we both agree that it's a very small market. And now you see like there's rapid increase in designers coming on board. Now when these new designers come on board and price their items at like, let's say $500, does that hurt you as a designer who's put in so much work and price is so high? That way it's actually taking clients away from you. How does that affect you?
Well, it does affect us, but then at the end of the day, you just try to be different from what they're doing. So for loyal customers, they wouldn't leave you because they will know your work and they will be like, even though we have a new designer that's doing probably the same thing, but it's not really the same thing. Fusion would have done it this way. Fusion would have added this to it. Fusion would have made me feel like a queen. like a celebrity. Fusion would have made me feel this way. This is how Fusion is different from other designers, other upcoming designers. You come in and charge less, that's fine. But it hurts me, but then at the same time, I'm always trying to up my game and see how to just move away from what they're doing and just take another route.
Now, we've seen our elders start this whole fashion business in Gambia, but a lot of them has faded away over time. Do you have the same fear that they might have now that these new designers are coming in? Like, where do we see Marur like in 10, 20 years?
Okay. I don't feel that way. I would only feel that way if I was only thinking for now. I was only thinking locally. When you're thinking 5 steps ahead and you're thinking 5 years from now, where do you see yourself? It all comes back to your business plan. That's why you have to have a business plan and see, you know, just try to do projections and, you know, be like, this is where I see myself in year 1, year 2, year 3, I want to be here. So you have to have a plan. And I'm not just thinking local, I'm not just thinking Gambia. And I'm sure a lot of other designers are not just thinking Gambia. So this helps when you're thinking internationally and you're thinking of, you know, going abroad and trying to start your brand up there as well. You know, tap into an international market. So I don't feel like that would be a problem if you have those plans. If you're not just thinking about Gambia, you're also thinking about worldwide, being international, being an international designer. So that wouldn't be a problem if you're thinking that way.
Now, I believe coming this December would be your 3rd year?
Yeah, 3rd year.
Yes. And you think everything is going as you've planned?
Yeah, so far so good. Not exactly what I planned, but we're getting there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sure within these 3 years you've had a lot of experiences. Could you tell us about the most difficult client you've had to work with?
Oh God, I have a couple. Let's go with
one. I'm sure there's one that sticks in your mind.
Okay, yes, there's one. And I love her dearly, but she's made me stronger. And all these challenges just only make me stronger. At that time, you might be, you know, upset or frustrated, but they make you stronger. So, as you may know, I specialize in wedding gowns. So then the bride comes in, and then she tells me exactly what she wants. And we design it, and we pick the fabric, whatever. To make a wedding dress is not simple. It's not cheap at all. So then we make the dress. It's ready. Exactly what she asked for. And then she sees it and she wears it. She's like, ugh. And that's the worst feeling. Even if it's not for a wedding dress, it's the worst feeling as a designer.
I can imagine after all the work put in.
All the hard work put in. And then after she already said this is what she wanted, and then all of a sudden it comes and then, ugh. I didn't take offense to it. It was just like, okay, this is her wedding day. She needs to feel special. She needs to love her dress. She needs to feel comfortable. So instead of, you know, being upset and taking offense to it, I just took it positively and be like, okay, it's okay. You don't like it. What don't you like about it? Let's try to, you know, see what you don't like about it, what we can change about it. So we ended up having to make a brand new dress, another dress, completely different from what she wanted.
Wow.
Completely different fabrics, completely different beading, everything was different. But at the end of the day, she was happy. And it took us 2 days before the wedding and we have to create a brand new dress for her. It was tough. She was my toughest client, and I had to make her whole bridal parties, outfits and everything. So just imagine, everything was all backed up and last minute. And it seemed like the dress was cursed. Every time we go for fitting, it wouldn't zip up, or the zip would just break, or something would just let loose. It was just terrible. It was terrible. But at the end of the day, everything worked out, and she's happy. So that's an experience that I'll never forget.
Now, I want you to mention 2 designers locally that have captured your eye or have inspired you.
I'll have to say Noir, Nefatu. She was doing her tie and then she left and came back. When she came back, it was all revamped and it was just...
Like Noir style Africa.
Yeah, it was just bam, you know, and I loved her energy. And I love the fact that she's not negative. Her vibe is really, you know, encouraging. I like that about her. She's really positive. And I'll have to say Yaus. She's like our elder in design, and she's been there. And I have to say someone else, Medun. I love his style. I love his designs. They're amazing. Like, he doesn't belong here. That's what I always tell him, like, you need to go. Like, we need to go together, but go first and then I'll be there, you know. But these are I have more, of course, but these are the ones that really stick out.
Now, when do we expect the next collection from Fusion?
Have to be December again.
December?
Yeah.
So we look forward to it. We invite you back here again
definitely,
to showcase,
inshallah.
perhaps.
December, sure.
All right.
I would love
Thank
to.
you very much for coming on,
Thank you so
Fess.
much for having
It's
me.
been a pleasure.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
Bye.
This is no longer the era of slavery and slave trade, where Africans are being seed on the high sea to the Atlantic Ocean. This is the era of backway. Backway to Europe is on the increase. A lot of immigrants, including Gambians, have perished. Yes, our own Gambian brothers. A lot of young people losing their lives in the sea within few minutes. A lot of families are going through a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of tension, for they are worried about the whereabouts of their relatives. Gambian-born striker Kemo Dabo has signed a 1-year contract with a Finnish club AC Olulu. The 22-year-old who underwent a 1-week trial at Olulu will spend the rest of the 12 months at the Ratiti Stadium with an option to expand. He said he wants to thank the AC Olulu for this chance, and indeed he is ready to play and score many goals. Dabo said shortly after putting pen on paper, the likes of Papa Gassama and this Kemo Dabo is really putting Gambian football to the world.